Now I've just been able to get back onto Nuemayer, and what we have is several vehicles that's come out from underneath the main building, and you'll see a reflection of light, and I'll show you the building itself. You see there's something in the reflecting light there, and that vehicle's is reflecting light. Now there's a black dot in the middle of it, so we go back a little bit and we see this one here is indicating the same thing, and then this one up here, because they're all parked at different angles, so this is like a record of the black dot of light reflecting off the glass of the vehicle. Okay, so there it is. So we go forward again. Watch this one here first. That one's starting to light up. That one becomes pronounced. Then these two start to light up, and that one there. And then we've got a very prominent light. So we go back. So we've got a prominent there and a prominent there. This each click I'm making here is 10 minutes apart, so there's 10 minutes later. Time there, UTC is 2030, so we go back one, 2020, and there's 2050, so that's 20 minutes later. Alright, so we'll just let that run now. And we'll see the sun going past, and you'll see that the light from the sun is, we'll just let it run around, see if it'll go again. Quite often it won't do that. My machine is very odd. We'll just let that run, get an idea of what's going on down there. And as the sun goes past, beautiful day. So it's getting to night time. Then we got our flashing lights. Light there, light there. Now we're going around to see the sun coming up. You'll notice how this gets bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller. The reason for that is because the intensity of the sun is changing. The nuclear fusion of the rate of the sun is your problem. It's getting brighter, it's getting darker. You'll see also how the light here is also lit up by something else that's above. So now we've got a circle, if you like, Antarctica, and the Earth is turned, and we have the setting sun over here, and we can see it's got the pink slight glow to it, and then suddenly within an hour this comes up. You work it out. Right, so we go down to see if these other ones are actually working. You'll probably find, I haven't looked at it yet, but it's ticking through 74, 80, so in other words it's not changing. The reason for that is that they are trying to block what is actually occurring. So we'll go back and then we'll look at the pictures in the last 24 hours, and they're all exactly the same. So in other words, this is what's been like for 3 days now. We'll go to the next one up, or next one down rather. Look at the pictures there. And again, you see they are all identical. And that is because they don't want you to see. So these vehicles are in position, bringing the men from the main station, which is not too far away. But they've gone down there and they've just made sure the camera is how they wanted to see, one flash and that's it. So that's what's happening down at Nuemayer. They're covering it up, and whatever, you see this light here, for example. We'll do the pictures of the last 24 hours. Sometimes, well, here you'll see the angle getting higher and higher in the sky, and I'll just see if I can get them all on. Alright, so we have the light getting brighter, brighter. Sun comes up. You see that the dot there is the intensity of the sun, and there it's larger, larger, gets smaller, and that's off screen, but it got smaller again up in this angle up here somewhere. And then we see the time difference. If these are 10 minutes apart, so that's 10 minutes, so that's 1 hour, 2 hours, and you see how bright that is there. That's this one here. And then it's overcast, overcast, and it's bright again. Cloud formation, this is 10 minutes apart. So they expect you to believe it's gone from overcast to bright again. And then down here, we've got, this is 1 hour later, there's a light above that, shining on that. Then there's a light shining on that. Then there's 10 minutes later, a light shining on that. Let's bring it up a bit. So we've got 12:15, or 12 to 15 hour. So that's 3 o'clock over here. That's 12 o'clock here. So 10 minutes later, it's like that. You can tell how the clouds are roughly the same, has been spread. Then there's this business. You go down to an hour later, you've got a bright light above that again. You've got a bright light there. So this is at 4 in the afternoon. Bright light there. Bright light there. And then you got this business here. Light coming up to that. So the intensity of the light is changing, and we first observed that several years ago now, when we was doing observations 2 hours, 3 hours at a time of the sun down at Coolum. And we see that the intensity of light was, the sun would get brighter, then we get clear sky, we get brighter, then we get dull, get brighter, get dull. Now, in the sunlight in Australia, if you're on, say, a black surface like a roadway, or a dark surface like a roadway, the roadway would get so hot that you could put an egg on it and it would cook it. Now, we were doing experiments with a black mat that under normal circumstances, if you put an egg on it in the direct sunlight in Queensland, it would cook it. But it wasn't hot enough to make your hand uncomfortable. So we'd leave it for several hours in the sun, it wouldn't heat up, put your hand on it, and it'd be tolerable. Certainly was not enough to cook anything. That's what we're dealing with in the sun, what's happening today. So I'll be looking at something very odd. Of course we are. And will the sun not give its light? Well, if you look at the prophecies, we're talking about the Old Testament of Moses during Exodus, where the light didn't shine for 3 days. That's bullshit. It's not part of the deal. All it says in recorded history of what has been observed, there's been no darkness of the sun at all. It's only prophesied in the New Testament that the light of the sun will grow dark and then come back light again. No time frame.